to you about finding an image, finding a portrait. The toughest part of this assignment is thinking about who are you going to do? What kind of portrait are you going to make that's interesting for you and meaningful for you? Who is it that needs their story told? Who needs a voice? Now, so this is sort of the end of the last project for the semester, so I'm hoping like it combines everything we've done together. If you want to repeat the person that you did for the typography portrait, by all means, go ahead. I'm going to search for an image. So the first thing you need to do is find an image. I'm going to look for Emily Carr. If I can get this to work. Emily Carr. And the reason why I'm picking her, she's a female artist from out west. So she's Canadian. She died in 1945, and she was sort of a wildlife painter. But why I like her for myself is that she was kind of part of the group of seven, but not really. But she did lots of different art training. Like, she's born in 1871. She went to a bunch of different art schools, and it's not that she came from a very wealthy background, because she didn't. So she funded it herself, which was, really unknown back then. And my grandmother was a painter. So she was alive, in the mid 1900s. I think she died in 1985, but she never had the chance to go to art school or things like that, right? So, and I think that was always hard on her. So I really admire somebody like Emily Carr that had the guts to sort of give up everything to go to art school, because back then you had to, you got married, you had kids, and so instead she stayed on her own and she traveled and she did some really great stuff. Anyhow, so I'm searching for her, and obviously I'm doing a Google image search. Now I'm going to, for her I'm going to search portrait, because I'm coming up with a lot of her art. Now the key to having a good painting is starting off with a really high quality photo. So I'm going to actually go to tools, and I want to go again to size and large. I want to make sure I get a high quality picture, so by the time it's printed out and everything, it's not super fuzzy. So I'm going to try and pick a picture. I think I like this one here because for me, she's not conforming to beauty norms or anything like that. So I'm going to save this image. So I'm saving my image. You're going to save yours to the computer, then you're ready to go. Now, what's going to be helpful is you want to actually use an editing tool on here. We're going to use Photofunia just to sort of turn it into a sketch, which is going to make our lives easier to, one, trace the image onto the paper, and then just see it as a painting and see where the shadows and the highlights are. So I'm going to go to my lesson. So I'm picking a portrait, doing the video right now. So what I want to do is I want to transform it to a sketch. So I'm going to click on that link here. It's taking me to Photofunia, which basically does a whole bunch of cool Photoshop effects for you. And I'm going to choose my photo, and I'm going to choose my picture of Emily Carr. Now, because we don't have really high quality paper necessarily, or the best brushes or anything like that, I really want you to focus a lot on the face. If you want to include other parts, you can, but I would suggest focus more on the face. So what's nice on Photofunia is actually crop it. So I think that's kind of cool. In terms of composition, I think that's kind of neat. So I'm going to go crop. So we're ready to go. Okay, and then all I'll have to do is hit go. I'm just going to transform it to a sketch for me. So there we go. It makes it really easy for me to see the shadows and the highlights. It's going to make it easy for me to trace onto the watercolor paper. So I'm going to right click that. I'm going to save the image as whatever you want it to go. Emily Carr sketch. Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to save that there. All right, what we're going to do next is I want you, please, to hand it in on D2L. So there's a link here. Hand in that sketch photo for me, because then I can print it off for you, and then we can trace it onto your paper. Okay, so think hard about who you want to do. And again, this is your artwork. This is for you. So pick somebody that's important to you. Okay, looking forward to your images.